In this, the 53rd episode of the UX Tea Break, I look at eye tracking in user research. I got this question from Mario. Mario is taking a course I'm running on Zoom at the moment titled User Research Fundamentals. He asked, now that we're approaching usability testing in the course, I wanted to ask if we could address the importance of eye tracking in usability testing. I have the opportunity to conduct an eye tracking study before my PhD contract is up, and I was pondering on how valuable this technique is for a UX practitioner. So, first of all, I should explain my terms. Eye tracking. What is it? Well, eye tracking is the process of determining where someone's looking. It can also measure how someone moves their eye when scanning something like a web page. Now, some eye trackers are attached to a pair of glasses, so your participant has to wear them, but others can be built into computer monitors. There's one piece of eye tracking user research you'll probably be familiar with, and that's the work carried out by Jacob Nielsen and his colleagues. They found people tend to scan content-heavy web pages in an F shape. And this research tells us that designers should put the most important information first, avoid putting stuff on the right-hand side of the page, and start paragraphs and bullet points with keywords, because they're the things that people are going to notice when they're scanning down the left-hand margin. Although that's an important finding, I've got to be honest, I'm a bit cynical about using eye tracking as a usability testing method. Eye tracking has a lot of wow factor with its heat maps and its gaze plots. It can feel like you're looking through the eyes of the user and poking around inside their brain. But there are some serious problems with eye tracking for routine usability testing. It provides a level of detail that's rarely, if ever, needed in user research. If you're interested in vision research, that's different. I did my PhD in vision science. I built a Maxwellian view optical system to measure people's sensitivity to colour. I know how useful it is to get precise measures of the limits of human vision if you're a researcher who wants to publish papers in journals like Vision Science. But if you're a researcher who wants to find problems with the user interface, I'm less convinced that eye tracking is the way to do it. First, eye tracking tells us where someone's looking. This is their foveal vision, the bit of the visual field that has the best acuity. But foveal vision isn't always where someone has their attention focused. We often pay attention to the peripheral visual field. Do that now. While looking at the screen, move your attention to the world outside the screen. Maybe there's someone in the room with you and you can direct your attention to them, even though you're looking at me. It's easy to do, isn't it? But an eye tracker wouldn't be able to pick that up because that's not where your eyes are pointed. And second, you can't just sit someone down in front of an eye tracker and start doing research. You have to calibrate the device to each individual participant. And it's not unusual for the calibration to foul. Eye trackers often struggle with people who wear glasses and even people who wear mascara around their eyes. So if you do eye tracking research, you'll spend a lot of time faffing around with the technology rather than spending time watching users. But the most important thing you should know about eye tracking is that it's hardly ever the best way to answer a user research question. There's virtually always a simpler, cheaper and quicker method you can use. I'd use eye tracking only if I had to answer a really detailed, fine-grained usability question like, should I right align or left align my labels on a form in order to reduce eye movement time? Now, in reality, I never ask this question because the problem with forms isn't the time taken to make eye movements, it's the time taken to understand what the labels are asking. That's by far the bigger issue. Eye tracking can't answer that or virtually any other question that's important to your design team, but traditional usability testing can. Well, that's my take. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have a question for a future tea break, post that below too.